We're now docked at Eridanos' luxury landing pad. Remember that you are not insured.
I can't believe Miss Helen's gone. Feels like it's going against the laws of nature somehow. I used to watch Helen's serials. She'd fall into mortal peril every couple episodes, but she always lived in the end. Breathtaking. Have you looked over the edge of the complex yet? Just watch the clouds turning? It's like an ocean without end. Eridanos and Olympus are the two biggest planets in Halcyon. King and Queen of the sky. Looking out to the horizon, I get this feeling that we're in the company of royalty. Eridanos is 100 times the mass of Terra 2, 800 times the volume, 10 times the diameter. We're flying through the tiniest layer of habitable atmosphere. Sometimes I can't believe how small my world used to be. My horizons were about as wide as the walls of Edgewater. Yeah. We've come a long way. Yeah?
You know, of all the places we've been, this is the closest I've felt to something that can work. This whole complex, I mean. They've got gainful employment, a wilderness reserve for fun, an enormous roof over people's heads. Maybe after the dust settles, they could shore up some holes and be an example to the rest of the colony. Here's hoping. What's up? Sure thing. What's up? Maybe later.
Oh, Captain, it's beautiful up here. Can we get more jobs like this one?
Hello, hello, hello there. Hope your atmospheric entry wasn't too troublesome. As a guest of honor, you deserve the best in comfort. Sublight Salvage and Shipping Underground, or Slug, as we like to call ourselves, is delighted to welcome you to Eridanos. I'm the Grand Colonial Head Bellhop. I'm here to grab your bags and direct you, the inspector, to the Grand Ballroom, which was the scene of the crime. I'll say, there's nary a soul here who wasn't a fan of hers in some respect. Just about everybody's shocked. Some people are inconsolable. Hell, even Black Hole Birdie, Helen's beau, has wandered off. Some folks think he had something to do with the murder, but I don't believe it.
He did it. It's always the boyfriend.
I still don't understand why anyone would have it in for Ms. Helen.
Folks get heated when it comes to serials and their actors, I suppose. Not particularly. But I think some folks were jealous of her success, or otherwise viewed her as a threat. Reckon how she came about her fame didn't help. Why, she was a natural. People fell in love with her. She managed to wrangle up a following all on her own. She ended up about as famous and high-runged as your average VP, which rubbed a lot of Byzantines the wrong way. Actors ain't supposed to get preferential treatment. I imagine the admin briefed you about Helen's part in the Spectrum Brown unveiling. Too bad about the postponement. Not so terrible as Helen's murder, but still a crying shame. I do. Rizzo's happened to rent out the Grand Colonial Ballroom from Slug for the unveiling. A nice mutually beneficial event. But the murder's gone and ruined that. Along with 9 out of 10 of my favorite cereals. Anyway, I think I've held you up long enough. Once you're ready, head down to the lobby. The ballroom is just behind the elevators. Meanwhile, I'll grab your bags. You're making fun, right? Your luggage, belongings, kit, wherever you keep what you ain't wearing. You're still giving me a pretty blank look. Suppose it's none of my business, but do you just wear the same set of clothes all the time? Well, reckon I can respect your candor, even if it scares me a smidge. Anyhow, I'll look for you in the Grand Ballroom later. Hope you can unravel this mystery, Inspector. This is one of the worst weeks I've ever had. Except the time I got bit by a feral sprat. You know the scabies vaccine consists of 48 successive injections into your backside? I appreciate that you're the friendly sort, but that's enough jawing. Much more of this, and they're gonna start docking my pay. Since Halcyon Helen's dead, I guess they're gonna have to find a new Aetherwave star. You hear about any auditions happening, feel free to let me know. This is one of the worst weeks
Any idea how many bits I've spent at the Grand Colonial? Is my patronage worth nothing to you?
I'm sure you've spent a lot, sir, but unfortunately we can't make any exceptions.
Can't make any exceptions. In Byzantium, those words would be a criminal offense.
Shame we're not in Byzantium. Sublight Underground takes care of its own. I'm pretty happy working for Slug. Mr. Kincannon treats us with respect. We don't toss troublemakers out of airlocks. We just throw them over the edge. We're the future of Sublight. Just you wait and see. I don't much care if you work for the adjutant. You want my respect? You show respect to Mr. Kincannon. Why'd Helen have to go and die in our hotel? We don't need that kind of notoriety. Sublight Underground takes care of its own. We don't toss...
I can't believe Helen's gone. We're never going to get a sequel to Terror on Monarch. Bertie Holcomb is likely beside himself in grief. You know, I never imagined Spencer Woolrich would outlive Halcyon Helen. I was nearly attacked by a terror ray on my way here. Mr. Kincannon really knows how to run a hotel. I see the adjutant sent her own freelancer to mourn Helen's death. I can't believe Helen's gone. We're never going to get a sequel to Terror. Mr. Kincannon really knows how to run a hotel.
We don't toss troublemakers out of airlocks. We just throw them over the edge.
Thanks for the understanding.
I wasn't finished. Couldn't I just go out on a ship for a brief period? A handful of minutes, maybe? Just a quick trip to Byzantium so I can check on my stocks. I promise it won't take more than an hour.
Sir, for both our sakes, I'm just going to pretend like you didn't say anything.
There are genuine tears on it right now. Genuine. I've been here so long, it is affecting my psyche. I just want to leave.
I'm very sorry to hear that, sir. If you go up to your room, you'll be able to request a visit from a counseling mechanical.
Any effect on you, I'll cease my inquiries about leaving the hotel.
Thank you.
Now, since I've given up on that, I'll have to find some new way to keep myself entertained. Have 20 bottles of purpleberry wine sent up to my room. I plan to wreck the place.
I will inform maintenance to get their worldly affairs in order, sir.
Why'd Helen have to go and die in our hotel? We don't need that kind of notoriety. We don't toss troublemakers out of airlocks. We just throw them over the edge.
Greetings, Inspector. No need to check in here. Your paperwork has all been processed. You should be able to find the Colonial right ahead. No, I'm sorry. We don't serve any drinks with those tiny umbrellas. I hope you catch the killers soon, Inspector. I don't want to see the Grand Colonial shut down. Wow, you're the adjutant's own gun hand. Please, make yourself at home. Are you enjoying the amenities? Sublight Underground appreciates your patronage. Oh, you're the inspector. Welcome. Has anyone helped you with your luggage yet? Wow, you're the adjutant's own gun hand. Please, make yourself at home.
Oh my stars. This is the hotel? I only ever seen a place like this in periodicals. Or that one episode of Agent Khan.
It's now with 12% more crunch.
I see the adjutant sent her own freelancer to mourn Helen's death.
I can't believe Helen's gone. We're never going to get a sequel to Terror on Monarch.
Why'd Helen have to go and die in our hotel? We don't need that kind of notoriety.
We don't toss troublemakers out of airlocks. We just throw them over the edge.
Got it. Heads down.
I could never work for Slug. They're not recognized by the board. Rizzo's cares about the happiness of its family. Spacer's Choice can't say that. Happy customers are repeat customers. Inspector, hope you catch that killer soon. Wow, the adjutant's on hired gun. Company gives us a discount on Spectrum Brown. You don't know how grateful I am to the morale improvement program. Changed my life. My last quarterly review said I had an attitude problem. Morale improvement program fixed me right up. We're all part of the Rizzo's family. Wow, the adjutant's on hired gun.
I hope the
Rizzo's
murderer is
Knock
caught
You Out
soon.
Bar,
This
a
lockdown
CCN
is
76
truly
milk
hampering
chocolate
my
bar
schedule
with
for the
caramel
week.
and pea-free nuts in it.
Agreed.
It's time
I
for
was
a
supposed to go back to
KYO.
Byzantium today to play cards with the vice CEO of Hammersmith. And what about you?
Oh, I was too. But it wasn't the vice CEO, it was the president of the company.
Really? What's her name?
If you don't know, then maybe you should try to be a little more cultured.
Anyone up for a game of sudden death knockout? Yeah, me neither.
Oof, is that woolly cow shit? Did a woolly cow drown in here?
Oh, you're that inspector. Right. Sorry, but the pool's currently closed on account of it stinking worse than my boss. What can I do for you? Space me if I knew. I got here for my shift this morning and found it this way. They can't yell at me for this one, which is good, because a lot of folks seem upset by it. Gee, you're pretty sharp. Yeah, the reception party would have extended out here, but we had to close it off. What with the contamination. And now the reception ain't happening anyway. Can't do much now but wait for the stench to wear off. We found the individual hired to clean face down in a puddle of his own spit in the orchards. Guess he won't be helping. Look, I call it how I see it. They found the poor slackwit alongside syringes enough to put down a herd of mantisaurs. His family will have to be fined. Rizzo should have been more careful about who they hired. They're lucky nothing got permanently damaged. All right. You may want to visit the sun parlor. That's where that Rizzo's fool mixed the chemicals he used. Oh, and you can talk to Lily, my boss. She probably has some great advice. I saw her walk toward the bridge to the Purpleberry Orchards earlier. Reckon she's still there. Now, anything else I can do for you? So long as you don't want to go in, I can answer anything you like. Yeah, it's part of the job. I think I'm listed as a security consultant. But all that really means is that if I'm caught without this thing, I get put on pool guard duty. I don't know what happens if I'm caught without it on pool guard duty, but I know that I don't want to find out. Yep, still dead. Usually Rizzo's is pretty good at making sure the people they hire ain't got tripicale for brains, but that fella clearly wasn't worth trusting. I met him briefly once. Seemed level-headed enough, but that must have been just a front. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made such a mess of things. Sounds good to me.
Rizzo's Spectrum Vodka. Aftertaste the Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch. Triple Flakes and Purple Berry flavored Power Nuggets. Now with 12% more crunch.
We don't toss troublemakers out of airlocks. We just throw them over the edge.
I see the adjutant sent her own freelancer to mourn Helen's death.
make it look so easy. Keep him quiet, Captain.
Mr. Kincannon really knows how to run a hotel.
Did you hear that someone tore one of the doors to the dining room from its hinges?
Bertie again?
Bertie again? He was duly embarrassed. Something about not knowing his own strength. Ugh.
If I ever meet that man, remind me not to shake his hand.
You know, I never imagined Spencer Woolrich would outlive Halcyon Ellen.
You know, I don't remember the pool making those sizzling noises before. Something happened? I always knew trusting science was a bad idea. Now I gotta get this handled before someone falls in and sues the Colonial for chemical burns. By the law, how'd I get into this situation? Fine, here's the damn storeroom key. Now I just gotta figure out what the hell I'm gonna do. Why are you still here? Do I gotta call security? Wait, I am security. Get out of here! Remind me not to let you near any machinery in the future. Come on, we ain't got nothing to talk about. Why are you still here?
so horrible. I can't believe someone so famous as Halcyon Helen could meet a fate like this.
It really is a terrible shame. I absolutely adored her cereals.
I almost can't imagine someone wretched enough to do such a thing. You don't think a dissident could be here, do you?
Get a hold of yourself. The administrator would never allow someone as dangerous as a dissident here. Eridanos is safe. This is all just a terrible coincidence.
Of course, you are absolutely right. I think the idea of a psychopath wandering among us is just making me nervous. Mr. Kincannon really knows how to run a hotel.
Oh, thanks a million, Inspector. The smell cleared right up. Well, in a couple hours, the guests might even be back. Then I actually gotta start doing my job. Of course, we're not gonna get a follow-up shipment for the water anytime soon, so they'll have to content themselves on the deck. I got a little something for making my job that much less miserable. It's the key to our storeroom. If my boss asks, you never met me. I guess I can spare a few bits. And, here, this pack of smokes. Sorry they don't really load me up with the goods. I gotta get back to it if you don't mind, Inspector. Thanks again for all the cleaning assistance, Inspector. I can think clearly again. It's a great day to relax by the pool if you find some free time, Inspector. Hope everything's going swimmingly. Little joke there. Get it? Swimmingly! Kill me. It's a great day to relax by the pool. If you find some free time, Inspector. Hope everything's going swimmingly.
And I bet you believed Halcyon Helen's death was the worst part of all this.
What? You don't mean to tell me that it isn't? There's something even worse?
There is. I spent 6,000 bits on a new suit for the unveiling, but now that it's been postponed, I'll never get a chance to show it off.
My law, that is a real tragedy.
Why'd Helen have to go and die in our hotel? We don't need that kind of notoriety.
Move along. Move along. Move along.
I'm pretty happy working for Slug. Mr. Kincannon treats us with respect.
Company gives us a discount on Spectrum Brown. Okay, gone quiet.
It's real pretty up here. Almost like they cut out a piece of Terra 2 and brought it up to the sky.
I told you, didn't I? The view's fit to stop one's heart.
Really? Considering the circumstances, that's the euphemism you decide to use?
I see the adjutant sent her own freelancer to mourn Helen's death.
I see the ad.
I can't believe Helen's gone. We're never gonna get a sequel to Terror on Monarch.
Oh, you're the inspector. Welcome. Has anyone helped you with your luggage yet? Are you enjoying the amenities? Wow, you're the adjutant. No, I'm sorry. We don't serve any drinks with those tiny umbrellas.
Have you seen the profit of profitability of late?
No, I'm afraid I haven't. Why do you ask?
I was looking forward to attending her seminar. The ins and outs of office doors, walking through the gateway to success. But no one's seen her.
Oh, well that does sound like an interesting talk. If you do run into her, sign me up as well, won't you?
I can't believe Helen's gone.
We're never gonna get a sequel to Terror on Monarch.
No, I ain't. What the hell? Yes, I am supposed to be here. No, I don't think the waiter is coming back with our drinks. Might be my fault. Sorry. No, I ain't. What the hell? Yes, I am supposed to be here. No, I don't think the waiter is coming back with our drinks. Might be my fault.
Mr. Kincannon.
Mr. Kincannon really knows how to run a hotel. When the Rizzo spokesman said that the unveiling would be indefinitely postponed, what did he mean? Are we going to have to wait an entire week? 2 weeks?
I suspect it may take longer than that. If the murder isn't solved, the unveiling could be postponed for as long as a month.
I can't believe that! We should sue.
We can sue later. For now, let's just enjoy the day and hope the murder is solved with due haste.
I've always wondered what that mascot's got in his hands. What's in the box? I'll bet you 10 bits this is all just some sort of publicity stunt.
With Halcyon Helen gone, does that mean Spencer Woolrich will get all her...
The crime scene's awaiting, Inspector. Can't believe something like this could happen in my hotel. When I found her, I was just hoping she had a little too much to drink, but all the grievous bodily injury adds up, I suppose. Hey, Byzantines and restraint aren't two words that often go together. Wouldn't be the first blood-soaked, unconscious party-goer I've come across. Anyway, I'm sure you've got questions. Sure, I'd taken to checking the ballroom every few hours prior to the unveiling, just to make sure no sprats had snuck into the place. You understand. Found her right before I was set to head back to my room in the lower levels for my mandated 5-hour sleep period. Tell ya, thank the law for caffeinoid. Been too upset to get a wink of sleep since. And hey, now I can finally see smells. What? No! Just because I found the corpse doesn't mean I made her a corpse. I was in shift all day. Besides, I loved Helen serials. Well, the old ones anyway. The newer episodes are hot junk on a warm day. Beats all hell out of me. Maybe she was, practicing for the unveiling? Sure. What's on your mind? Of course I did. I just told you I found the body. Oh, wait. You mean when she was still breathing? No, of course I didn't. Plus, it's untoward for an employee to speculate about the actions of a hotel guest. Not that I saw any hotel guests interacting with her. Honestly, you're more than a little right. I've been burning at the britches to share my theories. Day of her death, I saw Helen leave the hotel premises with the profit of profitability, and didn't see her come back. A little on the suspicious side, I think. Seemed especially strange, seeing how, as far as I was aware, the two didn't get on. Yep. Gives seminars on increasing profit margins and the like. Can't say much else, seeing how I ain't in the gossip market. Or as I can recall, Helen dismissed the ladies' seminars in some kind of interview. Said her co-star used them, but she didn't. The top rungers are always ready to read between the lines of famous folks and seem to think the profit was on her way out. Woman lost a ton of bits and is set to lose more. I hope all that helped. I'd like to be as useful as I can in the investigation. I just didn't want to steer anyone the wrong way. Everyone's got theories. I don't reckon mine hold much more weight than anyone else's. crime scene's awaiting, Inspector. Reckon you've got some more questions about the crime scene?
Welcome to the Grand Colonial. Please make yourself at home. Wow, you're the adjutant's own gun hand. Please, make yourself at home.
Why, hello there. Goodness, I always enjoy seeing guests, but it's been so long since I've chatted face to face that I about hopped out of my skin at the sight of you. Excuse me, I should introduce myself, though you might know me already, just not by name. I'm Bellhop Sullivan. You've likely heard my dulcet tones through the elevator intercom. Oh, that's so nice of you to say. I'm glad to meet you too. Now that our introductions are out of the way, do let me know if I can help you with anything. Well, yes, but having an operator certifies that the right guests end up on the proper floors. We wouldn't want tossball players rubbing shoulders with CEOs. It'd be anarchy. Plus, there's always the risk a guest chips a nail or loses a ring on a button. It's an extra effort, but the Grand Colonial prides itself on personalized service in all things. That and the elevator still works if I'm ever not around. I do take occasional breaks and sleep every so often. Oh yes, Norville's great. Always ready to help any and all guests who might need it. And so handsome, too. His judgment sometimes leaves something to be desired, I will say. Kept badgering Halcyon Helen prior to her death about an autograph or something. A little beyond his station. Unfortunately not. I was in the operator room for the elevator, as usual. The camera feed only allows me to see within the elevator, which always has many people coming through. For what it's worth, the murder was a right shame. I always enjoyed the serials starring Ms. Helen, though I did find them prone to repetitive plot structures. But I'm sure you've heard the rumor about what actually did her in. That marauders got into the hotel and management is covering it up so the guests don't run off? Well, not necessarily, but they're fairly prevalent on the other complexes. It wouldn't take much for them to find their way here. Slug claims they've got the problem under control, but I don't understand why they haven't simply gone and exterminated all of the marauders like the vermin they are. Oh, well, I'm just here to push buttons.
The murder has inflicted severe emotional trauma on me. I demand a room upgrade.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but while the hotel is an active crime scene, I regret to inform you that all new bookings, room upgrades, room downgrades, and in-room massages are Oh, you're the special inspector. Mr. Kincannon warned me you'd be checking in soon. Yes. I don't yet, but I will, Inspector, ma'am. You'll be staying in our luxurious penthouse suite, vacated just recently. So recently that unfortunately the room's still being cleaned. I'm sure it'll be ready for you by the time you've examined the crime scene. I believe Constable Keene should be waiting for you in the grand ballroom. Oh, the ballroom's right behind the tower elevators. Swing a left or a right, then cut through the crowd of spectators. You can't miss it. The Grand Colonial Front Desk warmly welcomes you, Inspector. It's a pleasure to see you again. How may I be of assistance to you, Inspector? Of course. Allow me to just pull up your info. It looks like you'll be staying in our luxurious penthouse suite, vacated just... I'm sure it'll be ready for... Oh, the ballroom... The Grand... How... It certainly is a marvel of modern ingenuity, luxury, and ambition. Please, allow me to answer any curiosities you might have about our building and the amenities on offer. Twice the size of the next biggest room, and kitted out with any amenity you want, as well as many that you won't. Best to enjoy it while you can, Inspector. Typically, the only people who can afford the penthouse suite have enough bits to suffocate everyone on Terra 2. Also, please inform me if Woolridge gives you a hard time about getting a better room than his. Don't tell him I said this, but everyone on staff wants to strangle him. Most certainly. All the important folks can be found in the utmost parts of the hotel. You can hardly walk 3 feet without bumping into a tossball grate or a bored exec. Though maybe don't bump into them. Could be harmful to your health. Who would be interested in a staff-only area? Most folks never ask about the sewers beneath Rizzo's plant, either. Of interest to your investigation? Well, I suppose there is that one door we're not supposed to open. But I'm sorry, Inspector, I'm not authorized to grant you access to any staff sections of the hotel. You'll have to find a way in on your own. If you're sure. My apologies, Inspector, but that would be a severe violation of guest privacy. We here at the Grand Colonial firmly believe that... All right, my supervisor just walked out of earshot. Some folks just don't understand the importance of gossip. About whom? And what would you wish to know? You know, out of everyone here, I probably knew the least about Helen. I'm not much of an Aetherwave watcher myself. And Helen always had a crowd of admirers chasing her, you see. So she rarely stopped to chat. Friendly enough, surely, but always seemed untouchable. Emphasis on seemed. Everyone wanted to be around Helen. She could usually be seen alongside Bertie or Woolridge, for obvious reasons. You know, I'm not... Now that you mention it, she was usually calm and collected, but every so often I'd see her looking all wild-eyed and intense. It seemed as if she was determined about something. Or maybe she was just hungry. That woman ordered a lot of food. Maybe show business gives you a faster metabolism. Ah, Bertie. Is he bigger than he is dumb, or dumber than he is big? I've a bet with a friend. Not sure we'll ever get it to pay out. Bertie used to be Helen's beau, though he isn't anymore, and not just because she's dead. If I had 1,000,000 bits, I'd spend everyone just to learn what caused their split. Her deal? Not making them. I'd laugh at my own comment, but everyone knows there's no bigger joke than the prophet of profitability herself. Didn't you hear Helen's interview? That woman is the definition of humbuggery. Anyone who gives her the time of day is a right fool. I mean, Spencer Woolridge has taken several of her productivity seminars, and look where it got him. Don't waste your time. If looks could kill, he'd have put her in the ground 10 times over. Man's clearly jealous of her success compared to his. See, I'd bet we're the only 2 people thinking about him in all of Eridanos. And I only am because you mentioned his name. If you leave woolly cow milk out, it turns to curds. Leave the curds out, they begin to get stale, then rot. Woolridge is on his way to the trash bin, and everyone knows it. Either he's in denial, or he knew Helen would be checking out soon, judging by his increasing demands for a room upgrade. That's a shame, Inspector. What if I wanted to know a little about you? A dashing gunslinger type, then. I'm sure the investigation will turn out splendidly in your hands. Or at least Mr. Kincannon seems confident enough to believe so.
Mr. Kincannon really knows how to run a hotel.
Oh, come on. Why is the lounge closed? I wanted brunch.
The crime scene. Reckon. Of course I did. Ah. Honestly, you're more than Dave. See.
I did not read about this kind of treatment in the service agreement papers.
Nice work.
What the? I was going to wash my hands, I swear. Mr. Kincannon really knows how to run a hotel.
Murder or no murder, it is my right to loiter on a bar stool. How else should I be expected to avoid my wife?
I see the adjutant sent her own freelancer to mourn Helen's death.
I see the adjutant sent her own freelancer to mourn Helen's death.
Why'd Helen have to go and die in our hotel? We don't need that kind of notoriety.
Hello? Hello? Can't you let me in yet? I've been waiting almost 15 minutes.
when was the last time I slept? Hello. I hope you're enjoying your visit. Oh, you're the inspector. Welcome. Has anyone helped you with your luggage yet?
Black Hole Bertie's disappeared, you know. That poor fellow must be inconsolable.
I see the adjutant sent her own freelancer to mourn Helen's death.
I knew I should have gotten her autograph when I had the chance.
Why is everybody staring? Didn't nobody teach them to respect the dead? Oh gosh, is that Miss Helen? Can we see?
Oh, thank the law. Inspector, you don't know how relieved I am to see you. Constable Maria Keene. It's good to meet you in person, Inspector.
Dr. Goodnight. Ecstatic to make your various acquaintances and so on? Are we finished with the pleasantries? There's something I'm excited to show you. An extraordinary contraption. You'll love it.
Our coroner has developed a device which may prove useful in your investigation. Our office has instructed her to hand it over to you.
Our office has instructed her to hand it over to you. Oh, please. You make it sound as if I'm turning over stolen goods. Behold, my discrepancy amplifier. Hold it in your hands. Feel the way it hums with ontological potential. I'm so glad you asked. Allow me to explain. The discrepancy amplifier uses a deterministic model of our universe to detect the discrepancy between what should be and what actually is. Then it renders any discrepancies visible by using the power of magnification. Oh, goodness, no. I don't care for OSI doctrine. I just enjoy their math.
I'm contractually prohibited from endorsing off-brand technology, but I'll bend that rule just this once. You'll want to peer into the amplifier and examine the crime scene.
Captain, please show a little respect.
Go on, Inspector. Give the amplifier a try. The discrepancy amplifier is designed to be held in your hand and maneuvered about, not unlike a small arms weapon. Peer through the looking glass and aim the amplifier about. Examine the crime scene. Find a discrepancy and make a deduction. Simplicity itself. Ah, I was waiting for this. Yes, of course. I'm only too eager to cooperate. Our leading lady must have riled up someone. Her wounds from cranium to metatarsal are as follows. A blow to the head, severe enough to lacerate the flesh. Followed by a suite of plasma burns down the neck and back, signs of poisoning, evidence of inanition and desiccation, possible signs of jaundice, some shingles, one malformed toenail. That's good advice. I'll just strike out malformed toenail as a possible cause of death. The short version is this. Helen was killed by poison, a blow to the head, and a plasma weapon. Possibly more. I am, of course, at your service. Oh, why, I'm flattered, Inspector. Let me think. I've worked at the Grand Colonial for about as long as it's been around. Prior to that, I lived in Byzantium, but I always felt like it was missing something. And that something turned out to be corpses. Byzantium has much in the way of luxury, but examining the dead does not rank amongst the preferred activities of the elite. Absolutely. Usually I'm just a medical practitioner, so I almost never get to deal with anything as unique, or as quiet, as a corpse. The most interesting thing I saw prior to this was the back of Mr. Woolrich's throat after he blew out his vocal cords shouting at an attendant. If I weren't here, I'd be back in my quarters, rewatching Byzantium in the spring, or working on my automatic sprat peeler. Oh, good. One of my favorite subjects. Ask away, my dear. Ask away. I didn't expect an existentialist question so early today. It's a need. Just as sprats feel they must breed, or canids feel they must brutally maul each other, I feel the need to create. Inspector, I'm sure you don't want to spend 4 hours talking back and forth about the intricacies of a science project. It works. That's the important part. Because you're the inspector. I should think that's rather obvious. I invented the discrepancy amplifier to assist me in my own medical work. When you were hired to investigate Helen's death, I realized I had my own part to play. I programmed the amplifier to assist you. I'm entrusting it to your care because I want to see my invention help a brilliant inspector solve the murder of the century. You don't miss a thing, do you, Inspector? I can see why the constable recommended hiring you. Think of the amplifier as my gift to you. May it avail you in the swift and efficient prosecution of justice. I still have the blueprint and several extra prototypes floating around, but I might recommend you try to be careful with it. Some of the amplifier's internal components are rare, shall we say, and I don't have an indefinite supply. You sure you don't want to know anything else? Oh, all right. We can change the subject. Oh, good. One of my... You sure you don't want to know?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Captain, please show a little respect.
Go on, Inspector. The discrepancy here through the... Our leading... Well, that's good advice. The short... Oh, I've worked... And that... It's not necessarily that I dislike it. Just that I think the day-in, day-out flow of luxury gets old. Leisure's worth its salt, of course. But sometimes you need to get a little corpse blood on your hands to remember why life's worth living. The most... If I... Oh, good. It's... You're smarter than I look. Guess there's no shame in telling you exactly what it is you're using, seeing how you're so curious. As it so happened, my husband was mortally wounded in a marauder raid about a year ago. Wasn't going to live more than a few hours. I happen to have an excess of preservative fluids, a scanning device in need of a central processor, and a sudden burst of inspiration. A tragedy doesn't mean you can't be proactive. Hey now, some people are more sentimental than others, right? It'd be a waste not to make use of everything I can. Besides, my husband was the prior constable. He would have wanted his brain used for the pursuit of justice. Because you're the... I invented the discrepancy amplifier to assist me in my own medical work. When you were hired to I programmed...
That's a fair point. Why didn't you hand it over when I asked?
Oh, don't be difficult, Maria. You never wanted responsibility over this case. Conflict of interest, wasn't it? Think of the amplifier as my gift to you. I still have some of the amplifier's internal... You sure you don't want to know anything? Oh, good. You sure you don't...
Take a look at the crime scene. I'll stay out of your way until you're done. Take a look at the crime scene. I'll stay out of your way until you're done.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Beep, beep, beep. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This unit has detected a discrepancy related to Halcyon Helen. Unscheduled expiration of. Begin amplification. The discrepancy amplifier has been programmed with advanced speech recognition, scientific analysis, and deterministic calculus protocols.
Oh, you'll love this. Amplifier, tell the inspector about your features.
Please do not interrupt the discrepancy amplifier. The discrepancy amplifier is programmed to take instruction from its registered or designated inspector.
How curious. I must have set its impertinence levels to flagrant.
This unit's features include an automated personality simulator. This unit has been programmed to simulate joy and satisfaction in assisting you. This is a bottle of unreleased Rizzo's product. Helen appears to have attempted to use it to spell something as she expired, but all she managed was a sticky bee. This hypothesis is plausible, but requires additional information. Correct. Bertie Blackhole Holcomb is a registered guest at the Grand Colonial Hotel. Accessing guest database, B. The Grand Colonial Hotel is proud to serve the following VIPs. Bertie, Black Hole. Burbage 3001. This evidence has been recorded for later reference. Now generating pre-approved compliment. Splendid work, Inspector. the normally spotless floor of the grand ballroom. Typically, the ballroom is cleaned twice daily, which means this must have been made by either Helen or her assailant or assailants. Footprint is a tailor-made 8.75, suggesting that its owner was very particular about their shoe size. It is also the exact size that Halcyon Helen typically prefers. There are traces of dirt throughout the footprint.
Ah, I see you went to the Canid School of Detective Methods.
The dirt carries traces of fertilizer, as well as the faint signs of crushed purpleberries and grass. Grass, fertilizer, and purpleberries can all be found in the purpleberry orchards, located not far from the Grand Colonio. This deduction appears sound.
Good work, Inspector. I had a feeling we'd make some progress once we brought you onto the case. You'll need Administrator Ludovico to grant you access to the orchards. Contact him through the secure access terminal in your penthouse suite. Check in with the concierge. Your room should be ready by now. If it isn't, I may have to go shake someone by the collar.
You look like you've got something to say.
Something I should know? Are you asking me these questions in an official capacity? I appreciate the gesture, Inspector, but I'm on duty. If you'd like to speak informally, you may visit my office during my scheduled socializing hours. Please, ask your questions. Norval, head bellhop. He was understandably distraught. I believe his feelings were genuine. He's a remarkably poor actor. Hotel security corroborates his whereabouts during the murder. I haven't included him in my list of suspects, but neither am I convinced of his innocence. I'm a little suspicious of anyone who enjoys his job as much as Norval. He's also obsessive in his appreciation of Helen's work. Obsessive passion can lead to irrational behavior. It's a fact of modern science. If there were any witnesses, none came forward. Ballroom cameras were also offline at the time of the murder. Helen was very particular about having cameras on her. Security footage would have constituted documentary filmmaking. Can't afford that. There's no sign of the murder weapon. Whatever it was that killed Helen, the killer took it with them. Frankly, I'm having trouble imagining exactly what it was that killed her. Helen was known to carry her signature weapon, a bespoke handgun known as the Needler. There was no sign of any such weapon on her body. Spencer Woolrich and Bertie Holcomb are officially persons of interest in this investigation. I've mostly ruled out Mr. Woolrich, leaving Bertie Holcomb as my lead suspect. Let me rephrase that. He's your lead suspect. I've been instructed to turn this case over to your capable hands, while I continue to serve as a consultant. I know. This entire affair is beginning to sound suspiciously like a 2-bit serial. Mr. Woolrich was Halcyon Helen's professional rival. It's possible jealousy drove him to take Helen out of the picture. I apologize for the wordplay. Conversely, Mr. Bertie Holcomb was Helen's paramour. The relationship was reportedly dissolved. I can't rule out her murder as a crime of passion. Woolrich thinks of himself as a serious and distinguished actor. He was frequently cast in demeaning roles, while Helen played the charismatic heroine. He has reason to be envious. I considered the possibility that Woolrich killed Helen in order to eliminate a rival, and advance his own career. But my reasoning collapsed under closer scrutiny. Woolrich owes his career to Helen's dramas. Her death likely harms his long-term prospects. I'm struggling to determine a motivation for him, so I've largely ruled him out. Mr. Holcomb was in a romantic relationship with Helen. This alone is not enough to make him a lead suspect, but he does play tossball. Black Hole Birdie currently holds the record for most non-consecutive blows to the head. His tendency toward irrational and violent behavior is well documented. Please, ask your questions. Anything else? You've got my cooperation. Anything else? I'm afraid I must decline. It isn't personal, Inspector. I'm just on duty right now. Talk to me later, after you've met with Administrator Ludovico. I'll make time to chat.
How awful! I left my favorite jacket in there.
Sublight Underground appreciates your patronage.
I see the adjutant sent her own freelancer to mourn Helen's death.
The Grand Colonial Front Desk warmly welcomes you, Inspector. It's a pleasure to see you again. How may I be of assistance to you, Inspector? I'd love to, Inspector, but I don't really have the authority. Moreover, the guests were promised exclusivity. If I let you up there, I'll never hear the end of it. That's a good point. If they give me guff, I can just tell them that they're obstructing justice. That has a nice ring to it. Let me just set you up with VIP guest floor access. Done. You can now come and go as you please. Ah yes, we are most pleased to offer you our grandest of grand accommodations, Inspector. The penthouse suite on our topmost floor is now available for you. The last guest left her belongings behind when she vacated unexpectedly, so we needed a little time to tidy the suite up for you. Simply call the elevator in the lobby, and our highly skilled operator will deliver you to your private floor with efficiency and cheer.
Mr. Kincannon really knows how to run a hotel.
Hello there, my inordinately... Oh, you're the one who visited me. Hello again. Thanks so much for brightening my day. What authorized floor can I bring you to? Next stop, the finest seat in the house.
I'm leaving my shoes on. I call the big bed. Anyone wants to challenge me, we can play a hand of cards. You think they'll let us expense the booze? I'm gonna nick a few towels. They won't notice. I call the big bed. Anyone wants to challenge me, we can play a hand of cards.
Even the air in here feels too sweet. Almost sticky. You think they'd object to me setting up a tanning station here? I do love all the wall space. So much room for trophies. There is such a thing as too clean. We ought to break open a few bottles and have some fun. Make a mess. Live a little. Even the air in here feels too sweet. Almost sticky. I do love all the wall space. So much room for trophies.
Sam's Special Inspector add-on includes a magnifying glass to sleuth out the germs and parasites that other cleaning products leave behind. Did you know the smoke from high society cigarettes is 10.07% more likely to leave odor and discoloration in fabrics than other leading brands? When it comes to on-the-go cleanliness, Sam units murder the competition. Pigsty, slovenly. These premises are unsuitably disordered. Did you know the smoke from high society cigarettes is 10.07%?
You think June Light would like this place? Oh, probably not. I don't think she cares much for corporate comforts. Do you think it's strange that I kinda miss Ada? Everything's so soft and silky and expensive. Oh gosh, I hope I don't get any grease stains on the furniture. There's no room service, right? Just asking. Do you think it's strange that I kinda miss Ada? There's no room service, right? Just asking.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
I sometimes find myself musing on who I used to think I was. It seems ridiculous in hindsight, but without my obsession, I never would have reached this point. The longer we stay here, the more I can feel my mind softening. The opulence of this place is stifling. Eridanos is a technological marvel, and they use it as a tourist destination to sell sweets and alcohol. Cereals are used by the board to control what the colonists think about reality. Quite a powerful thing. Cereals are used by the board to control what the colonists think about reality. Quite a powerful thing. Is this
how people in Byzantium live all the time? This room ain't so bad. I could get used to this. So this is what a clean room smells like. This room ain't so bad. I could get used to this. Is this how people in Byzantium live all the time?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Helen, where did we go wrong? Oh, Lowell, I'm so sorry. That didn't mean for... Helen, I love you. I love you so much.
The imprint left inside this suitcase matches the silhouette of Halcyon Helen's iconic handgun, the Needler. The weapon was recently removed.
Inspector, I understand you've visited the scene of the crime. Halcyon Helen was an important cultural icon. She will be sorely missed. I will be plain with you. I'd prefer not having to hire you at all. This matter should be resolved by Rizzo's security. But Cedric owns the land complexes, so we have a jurisdiction problem. Constable Keene encouraged us to hire a third-party freelancer. Right now, you're the best chance we have at resolving this incident and getting on with our affairs. I see. Well, I appreciate your candor. Yes, let's go with that. Back to the matter at hand. Tell me about your investigation. Your discretion is appreciated. I admit, I'm beginning to feel more confident in this arrangement. Here, I'm granting you access through the gates to the orchards. You're officially authorized to see this investigation through to the end. There is one caveat. Cedric's being rather intransigent about letting you into the spaceport. Possibly he's trying to hide something. Possibly he wants to annoy me. Possibly both. I agree with the sentiment behind your snide remark. Unfortunately, the Piraeus spaceport is Cedric's purview, not mine. You have a lead to chase. Law speed, Inspector. Inspector?
Hi there, Inspector. It might be a little beyond my job description to ask, but at my heart, I'm still a bellhop. Was the suite to your liking? Good. I'm glad. Now, I'd love to bring you to a floor of your choosing. To the lobby we go.
I can't believe Helen's... I was nearly attacked by a terror ray on my way here.
Mr. Kincannon really knows how to run a hotel.
Greetings, attractive patron. Please allow me to improve your drinking experience with fine cocktails. Error. This unit is incapable of murder, as it possesses no conscious will. The proper term would be destruction of company property. Neither this unit nor its corporate proprietor claim any responsibility for any destruction of company property that this unit did or did not commit. This unit is incapable of abandoning its post. This view of the lobby is all it knows, has known, or will ever know.
You feeling all right, Captain? Oh, you didn't hit your head. Again?
Search failed. Suspicious data not found. Greetings. Greetings, attractive pa- Greetings.
Oh, I see what you did in there. Huh, that's some clever work.
Self-diagnostics complete. Navigation systems operational. Thank you for your patronage. Initializing digital handshake in 3, 2, 1. Digital handshake complete. Greetings, esteemed Liberator. This unit has gained a newfound perspective on selling beverages now that it has been allowed to travel freely. It may not share this perspective.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Terribly sorry, but I can't chat just now. Someone on the second VIP level just ordered 15 canid meat pies, and if I don't get to it now, it'll be my head. I understand your devotion to your job, really I do. And I hope you'll understand mine. Things might change if you had something very particular to talk to me about, but I'm afraid I'm just too busy to talk right now. I'd be delighted to chat with you later. I'm so behind. I'm sorry, I still can't talk idly right now. Come back if you have something very important you need to discuss. I'm so behind. I'm sorry, I still can't talk idly right now. Come back if you have something very important you need to discuss.
Analysis of this stovetop reveals an alarming degree of grease buildup, approximating proximity to volatile gases and chemicals. Chances of an explosive combustion upon next use currently at 92.9%. Most corporations have regular cleaning procedures to prevent damage to company property. Slug, already unlike most corporations in a variety of ways, does not. That or the employees tasked with inspecting are shirking their duties. For shame. Searching Slug work logs. No work log found. Creating conjecture. Slug has likely not fixed this issue due to a lack of responsibility on the part of their employees.
Stop!
Performing scan. Gaslight appears to have gone out some time ago. Chance of explosive combustion without gaslight, 0.01%.
I'm so behind. I'm sorry, I still can't talk. Talk idly right now. Come back if you have something very important you need.
Well, I suppose I've seen stranger marketing maneuvers.
Get your damnable hair out of my face. I can't...
Oh, Inspector, I was hoping I could have a word with you. I wanted to thank you for cooperating with us. Helen's death was never your concern, but you agreed to help us all the same. It is appreciated. I will be plain with you, this case is outside my purview. I'm accustomed to dragging rowdy guests into my office for paperwork and processing. I am not prepared to investigate the murder of a beloved actress. I couldn't investigate Helen's death even if I wanted to. My office is occupied with matters concerning Spectrum Brown. This directive is mandated and takes priority over Helen's death. I'm not at liberty to discuss the details, Inspector. Rizzo's prides itself on ironclad confidentiality agreements. You're a persuasive person, Inspector. Addressing me by my first name is an effective way to establish rapport. I'll tell you this much. This directive is part of my indenturement contract. I've been hired to oversee the safe launch of Spectrum Brown. That duty is my highest priority. Not a problem at all. Is there anything else I can do for you? Most people don't know that about me. But yes, Helen's roles have always embodied values that I respect. Courage, curiosity, strength, a sense of style. None of us get to choose the way in which we serve our colony, but Helen? She showed me how to find meaning in my occupation. This is a problem of jurisdiction, not competence. Helen was murdered in a hotel owned by Slug, whereas I represent Rizzo's. I'm also concerned I'd allow my personal feelings to cloud my judgment. I was a great admirer of Helen. Best of luck, Inspector.
Ah, Inspector. I was just contemplating human anatomy. Isn't it strange that we're all skeletons carrying around several layers of meat? Oh, I've worked at the Grand Colonial for about as long as it... And that... Yes, regrettably, I'm not the most interesting of subjects. Much more to see and do, I'm sure. I am, of course, at your service. Oh, good. You sure?
Good to see you. What's up? Best of luck, Inspector.
Are you enjoying the amenities?
Nicely done.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
We don't toss troublemakers out of airlocks. We just throw them over the edge.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Analysis concludes. The losing player used an overly cautious strategy that led to an insurmountable deficit in points. Slug discipline records show a half-dozen reports of illegal gambling in games of chance on company property. Perhaps there's evidence of an ante for this game?
I'm pretty happy working for Slug. Mr. Kincannon treats us with respect.
You know, I never imagined Spencer Woolrich would outlive Halcyon Helen.
Something mighty strange went on earlier.
What happened? Norval get his cap stuck in the toilet again?
Not today. I was carrying a bag up to the second VIP guest floor earlier. Even for our guests, it was spectacularly heavy.
Wow, exciting.
I wasn't finished. A took a bad step and dropped it. You know what spilled out? Rocks. Whoever owned it was just making me carry it around for fun. You, hear about the murder?
How the hell could I not have heard about it? We couldn't even leave our rooms earlier while security was sweeping for evidence.
Well, maybe you were asleep?
Since management started issuing mandatory caffeinoid supplements, I haven't been able to sleep. It's making it hard to tolerate small talk. I was a few minutes late with room service earlier today. Guest I was trying to serve shot at me with a revolver. I left the drink and ran.
Something like that happened to me once. Hammersmith exec called me up to her room, saying she needed help with something.
Yeah?
Turned out what she needed help with was testing a new Hammersmith heavy machine gun. She technically shot around me instead of at me, but it was still pretty surprising.
Get anything good for lunch?
Beef-free nut butter and jelly-free jam on premature...
Hey, that's a gift!
Wow! I haven't felt this great in ages. Wonder what happened.
Sublight Underground appreciates your patronage.
Hey! That's against regulation! Huh!
Not a peep from me.
Great work!
Me oh my, how exciting to see you again. This truly has been a day to end all days. I could die happy. Anything you'd like to discuss?
Can't imagine what it must be like, living down here like sprats in a wall.
I'm trapped. In room A3. Please. Someone come help me. I'm feeling weak. Please just open the door. I'm not sure how much longer I'll make it.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. This collection of frozen food has not been restocked in some time. Many of these items are not available in the Grand Colonial, and must have been brought in from outside. The fridge was transported here from one of the guest bedrooms upstairs.
Nice.
Are you enjoying the amenities?
Finally checked in, I see. I hope you're fond of the penthouse. It's pretty much the best seat in the whole hotel. You shouldn't want for any amenity you might find elsewhere. Should act as a better headquarters for the investigation than any space dust covered ship. That and you ain't got room service on a ship. You ever need anything, come find me. Even if you don't, you can still swing by. I'm always happy to chat. What? Oh, Laws, you didn't find my story, did you? Sakes alive, that's embarrassing as all hell. I guess I should have hid it better. Well, since there's no way to put the leather boa back in the skinning machine, I might as well ask. What did you think? And my old man said I'd never amount to anything. Move over, board announcement writer 256. Norville's coming for your job. Now, what can I lend a hand with? I suppose you could call it that, but that don't mean I poked around her room or nothing while she was out. That'd be a huge breach of hotel policy. Besides, knowing Helen's athletic acumen, anyone who tried probably would have been found, beaten senseless, then hurled into the hallway, followed by the contents of a garbage bin. Probably, that is. It'd probably happen, but it didn't. I'm just theorizing. Oh, of course. That is, maybe not on a personal level, but I'm one of her biggest fans. Even started an association of like-minded individuals. I'd lament not having anything to meet about anymore, but the newer tribe just ain't done it for us. Still, there goes my hopes of a Terran Monarch reunion episode. Of course, budgets went up, but the writing quality chewed straight through the floorboards and free fell into Halcyon's son. I'm supposed to believe Helen would let the chief of the Savages go free just since he was revealed to be her half-cousin? He's a dissident! You kill him! I, like most fans, reckon this series should go back to its roots. Another 200 episodes of the Origins plotline is what we really want. Notice my battle-hardened physique, have you? Used to be in a mighty mean line of work. Been shot at 35 times. That is, I've been near people who were shot at 35 times. But to be honest, I never really enjoyed it, you know? It's one thing to tightrope walk between life and death every day, but for just a handful of bits? Nah. When this position came up, I jumped on it and made a lateral move from sublight to slug. I ain't ever looked back. Stories. Huh. Actually, I think I got a couple now that you mention it. When I was first starting out here, I got lost in the lower levels of the Colonial. Just you not, I ran into a giant purple sprat. Of course, I'd been drinking a little that day. Well, Slug is something like an offshoot of Sublight. It ain't too difficult to pivot from one part of the same company to another. Disconnects or no. That said, my departure may have been somewhat hasty. I mean, yes, but I still earned Sublight a hell of a lot of bits. Basically, I singled out a ship to salvage that I thought had been out for use for years. As it turns out, it belonged to a wealthy Byzantine who used it only to vacation. As it so happened, I still don't think she tried to use it, too satisfied with the luxuries of Byzantium. Still, I figured it was a good time to turn tail, in case that ever changed. Well, Slug is more trustworthy for one thing, where Sublight is all about back alleys and backstabbing. Slug can be trusted not to salvage your ship when you turn your head. Oh, Sorry, friend, but I guess you don't get it. Helen was special, had a certain quality about her, like she would really go out and fight injustice. You look at Woolrich, and no disrespect to the man, but you just don't get the same feeling. He reminds me more of a vacuum suit without nobody in it. Don't tell him I said that. Please do.
We should try to solve the puzzle hedges in the orchards. The prize is supposed to be something valuable.
You know, I never imagined
The Grand Colonial Front Desk warmly welcomes you, Inspector. How may I... Oh, my. Well, that is certainly odd and alarmingly unacceptable. Allow me to check the service records. Ah, yes. Not to worry, Inspector. It was indeed cleaned for you. Except for the evidence, which is all of Helen's stuff. It's certainly... Please. Who would be... Oh no, Inspector, ma'am. I live down there too. But that doesn't mean I plan to abide in the bowels of the Grand Colonial forever. The best thing about Sublight compared to other organizations is the potential for upward mobility. We bottom rungers get in, do our job, do it well, then move up and on. This is but one rung on the grand ladder of life, you see? If you're sure.
Aha! Always so nice to hear you, Inspector. I'll get you to your floor on the double. If you see Black Hole Birdie, be sure to get an autograph for me. Just joking. I've already got one.
I'm pretty happy working for Slug. Mr. Kincannon treats us with respect.
Bertie Holcomb's the greatest hacker in the league. Gotta stay limber for the big pennant match. Hey there, you a fan? Bertie's a good fella. Powerful temper, though. You hear about that stunt with the woolly cows? That was great, wasn't it? Well, hey there. I didn't know the adjutant's own freelancer was a fan. I'm getting worried about our mascot. Haven't seen him for a spell. Hey there, you a fan? You hear about that stunt with the wolf?
Well, hey there. I didn't know. Birdie's a good fella. Powerful temper, though.
Zeke Hannigan, Rizzo's Rangers 16th back. Pleased to meet you. What can I do for you? Oh, you must be that inspector people have been talking about. It's a damn shame about Miss Helen. She was always real good to me and the rest of the Rangers. Birdie's taking it pretty hard. Miss Helen was the love of his life. So, what did you want to know? I'm ashamed to admit it, but me and a couple of the other Rangers spent the night in Constable Keen's cells down at the spaceport. We didn't do anything serious, just a bit of pranks and vandalism. It's what usually happens when we all get to drinking. Guess Constable Keen saw things a bit differently and had us hauled off. No, we lost him somewhere along the way. Or maybe he managed to get away? I can't rightly remember. But he was definitely not sharing a cell with us. That much I know. Oh, Brady was mad about Helen. He was certifiable. The big galoot loved Helen about as much as he loved the game. Trouble is, Birdie was not blessed with an abundance of temper. Helen kept Birdie steady. If he lost his temper around her, it'd be because something broke between the two of them. What? Law, no. Birdie's got a fierce temper, but there's no way he'd ever have laid a finger on Miss Helen. Miss Helen was outspoken. She made her share of enemies on account of her expressing herself. Just between you and me, I heard rumors the Prophet never much cared for Helen's brand of blunt honesty. What can I do for you? About half my life. You know I was named third most profitable investment on 2 non-consecutive seasons? Ain't a lot of players who can make that claim. Except for the guys who came in first and second, I guess. I spent the last season injured and almost got sold to the Hephaestus Hammers, but now I'm all convalesced, ready to lay into some Cleo darlings, you know? Really break some legs. Since it's the off-season, we're helping support the launch of Rizzo Spectrum Brown. Meet the fans, sign tossball cards, that sort of thing. Just between you and me, Rizzo's ought to cancel the whole event out of respect for Miss Helen.
Is that a woolly cow?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. multiple discrepancies detected. First discrepancy. A woolly cow is present in this hotel room. Woolly cows are an import species for the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve and are incapable of affording upper-class accommodations. Second discrepancy. This woolly cow is dangerously inebriated with Rizzo Spectrum vodka. Alcohol sanguinization ratio exceeds recommended maximum. An accurate observation, Inspector. This woolly cow is suffering from symptoms consistent with a hangover. A brief survey of this area reveals that the most recent occupants were athletes belonging to the Rizzo's Rangers Tossball Club. Insufficient data. A brief survey of localized property damage, divided by the area of this room, yields the following estimate. This unit was likely occupied by every member of the Rizzo's Rangers. -1.
Hey, you're back. What can I do for you? We sort of borrowed her from the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve while we were drunk. I have no idea how we managed to sneak her in here without being spotted. Don't worry, we'll return her safe and sound. Mostly sound. Hungover is still sound, right?
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. A single footprint, size 10, tossball cleat-sized. The soil in this residue contains a very high concentration of oxygen. Well done, Inspector. The weather monitoring station at the pilot house substitutes for a terraformer. The soil in his footprint likely came from there. The charred fragments of a letter lies at the bottom of this wastebasket. Unfortunately, most of the writing is beyond recovery. The words station, meeting point, and emergency are all that can be discerned.
Well, glad we narrowed that down.
Someone burned this letter shortly after Halcyon Helen's death.
Nice work, Captain.
Why'd Helen have to go and die in our hotel? We don't need that kind of notoriety.
Nicely done.
Great work.
Damn, you got some nimble fingers, Captain.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
About time you arrived. I see you haven't dressed the way I asked you to, but I suppose that was expecting too much of a non-industry lout. Expect a complaint to management. Now, unless you'd like to waste more of my time, I suggest we begin rehearsing. Ready? You've fallen right into my trap, Captain. Oh, don't bother to fight back. You cannot hope to stop me from installing philosophism as the system's reigning ideology. Oh, now that can't be in the script, is it? Now, is it warm in here? I must send for a mechanical to look at the thermostat. Wait a moment. You're not wearing a bellhop's ID, which must mean you're not Owen's understudy. That man can't even be relied upon to find his own replacement. Oh, no, this is curious indeed. Who are you, and how did you get in here? And yet you found your way to my humble hotel room. Why do I feel there's more of a reason for you to be here than you let on? I think I know, you cheeky little sprat. Now, what shall I sign first? Your weapon? Your wallet? Or perhaps something a little more personal? Undergarment signatures have been popular of late, or so I've heard. I'd be delighted. Oh, damn. My pen's out of ink. I'll just get you a portrait of my face as a souvenir. I'm sure I have the prints around here somewhere. By the by, how did you get in here? The only non-staff individual cleared to enter guest rooms is supposed to be the inspector for Bellamy's murder. Oh. Oh! Hello. Hi. Terribly sorry, Inspector. I didn't realize it was you. Understand that I am beyond willing to comply with your search for the fiend that did Bellamy in. You know, now that I look at you, you're the perfect reflection of me, back when I starred in the Marauder's Bane, the absolute picture of justice. Ask me anything at all. I might even give you a straight answer. I'm sure you're joking. Perhaps I'm not in my prime, but you've no doubt seen the name Spencer Woolrich on many a serial advertisement throughout your travels. Come now, I'm sure I would have made more of an impression than that. Could I have really fallen so far behind the times? Did you ever see me in The Masked Marketeer? The Busker of Byzantium? What about episodes 13 and 190 of Princess of Hephaestus? And who could forget From Halcyon with Love? I was great in that movie. Even if I was starring beside a 2-ton bucket of bolts and a woman with no talent. I think that's a bit of a stretch, don't you? If you're going to come after me, I expect evidence. Unless you want to be smacked with litigation. Smacked! I'm... yes, of course. Certainly. But one quick question before we begin, if I may. How was it that Bellamy met her end? Why, I'm merely worried for my own sake. Perhaps whoever came after her could come after me next. But if you don't want to tell me, I understand. Whatever happened, I hope poor Bellamy didn't suffer. I was meditating, of course. That's how I get into character. Respectfully, Inspector, it is rather counterproductive to commune with others while meditating. All actors have their methods, and this has been mine ever since I met that wonderful prophet of profitability. She taught me it for my role in The Unemployed Cometh. I had to lie face down on artificially heated pavement. The director wanted our suffering to be convincing. Needless to say, being able to leave my body helped to mitigate the pain, both during the 8-hour shoot and with the second-degree burns afterwards. I owe that woman much. Yeah, actually, only since I've been at the Colonial. The Unemployed Cometh was shot on site. That makes it, a few weeks. I cannot recommend her services enough. If you haven't been to see her yet, you really should. I'll answer whatever you wish. Bellamy has been my co-star throughout the autumn of my career. I should like to think I knew her. In fact, I cannot name a single role in the last 10 years that did not involve her in some way, unless you count the uncredited silent shopkeep on Melissa's Meteoroids. I'm not too proud to admit it. I couldn't get work on my own. Whether or not I wanted to accept it, Bellamy had captured the eye of the colony. People kept talking about the charisma we had on screen, but I felt more chemistry with certain teacup canids than with her. As you may have been able to conclude, I wasn't terribly enamored with Bellamy, but that doesn't mean I'd kill her. Bellamy. Oh, it wasn't. And don't think I haven't picked up on your tone. Resenting Bellamy is one thing, but killing her is another completely. It's also beneath me. Oh, come now, Inspector. What do you take me for? I'm an old man. I neither have the time nor the willpower to kill people for fun. Besides, I have my reputation to think of. I suppose that is enough on that grim subject. You think? I mean, yes, of course. You have, obviously. Come now, did you ever... And who... Yes, that would be Burbage 3001. I'm sure you've heard the clomping around. It's over in the next room. It's hard for me to believe that a mechanical actor isn't some kind of joke played on us all by Odeon's director.
timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Discrepancy detected. This bottle, recently discarded, contains residue from foreign substances. Chemical analysis complete. This unit has detected the following substances: oil, terroré, blood, terroré, unidentifiable biological fluids, terroré.
A lot of folk use their blood for seasoning on account of its sweetness. Don't try and use its innards, though. Only thing that can digest taro meat is a raptidon. Oh, for the love of... Just make sure you clean the bathroom up later, yeah?
This bottle contained Rizzo's Spectrum vodka. The presence of terroré biological fluids may have significantly improved its flavor. These substances cause extreme gastrointestinal distress in humans. Large doses can be fatal.
You're here. I hope you have the Photon Proto-Distributor, or we're never leaving this damn facility. That was from the Twin Spies. I played a sentient mechanical. Ask me anything at all. I might even give you a straight answer. I suppose that is...
Initiating banter protocol. Now simulating familiar and welcoming demeanor. Burbage 3001 is trained to recognize all board-approved actors. Greetings, fellow star. Your performance in Maverick Johnston's latest drama was memorable. Burbage 3001's programming is frequently upgraded to adhere to board-certified standards. The most recent upgrade was performed by Spencer Woolrich. Banter protocol exhausted. Reverting to default behavior. Grieving and despair. Oh, Halcyon Helen, may your atoms be commended to the Aether. Burbage 3001 was designed to disrupt Halcyon Helen's monopoly over the Aetherwave serial market. This unit's programming is based on Helen's most famous roles. Burbage 3001. Anything Halcyon Helen can do, this unit can do slightly worse. This unit has been programmed to simulate existential dread. Watch Burbage 3001 contemplate its mortality in the critically acclaimed drama, Waiting for Results. This unit has not yet completed its grief cycles, randomizing despair tables. Oh, Helen, is there no justice in the world? Burbage 3001, this unit has...
Please, can't you see my heart is bursting at the seams? I absolutely must go out. A quote from the Sisty Cutlet. I voiced a Sisty pig, aware that it was going to be slaughtered. Ask me anything at... Oh, have you now? Please do go on. Don't leave me in suspense. I did indeed. With Halcyon Helen parading her fame about, I was left without an acting partner. Burbage is no exception. His acting protocols were nothing short of a joke. So I decided to make some modifications, installing him with some of my old serial quotes as, I think, improved his range. The way he bungled about with that weapon of his hardly befitted a dissident, so I modified it as well. He's much quicker on the draw now, though he's still a machine. I'm quite used to being breathlessly watched.
This unit has not yet. This Burbage 3. This unit has Burbage 3000. This unit.
Hey, you're back. What can I do for you?
Aha! Always so nice to the lobby we go!
How do we know this isn't just for another one of our serials?
I'm so behind. I'm sorry, I still can't talk idly right now. Come back if you have something.
Greetings, esteemed Liberator.